What is up, guys? It's your boy Haunted Cactus, and today we are going to be showcasing 3 incredible builds, one for each different class, to let you absolutely farm the crap out of the brand new Legend difficulty haunted sectors available within Festival of the Lost 2023 for Destiny 2. There's a lot of juicy loot you can get from these Legend difficulty haunted sectors, so here are the builds you need to absolutely farm them. Now, we are going to be ordering these from the best down to the worst of the 3, but still very good. And the first one we have here is the Strand Berserker Titan. Guys, if you have a Titan, it's going to make these haunted sectors just free. Now, what we're doing here is using Blade Fury combined with a Rally Barricade. We have Frenzied Blade, we do have Shackle Grenades, and then for our aspects, importantly, Banner of War, added just this season. This has propelled this subclass to the absolute S+ tier. It is amazing for increasing your melee damage and also healing you, just everything you want within this activity. Then we've got Into the Fray to provide a way to get Woven Mail, even more damage resistance, survivability, and if you have Woven Mail and you're getting healed from Banner of War, you're basically unkillable. Now, for the fragments, we have Thread of Fury, Thread of Transmutation, Thread of Propagation if you're using a Strand weapon, and then Thread of Warding. Moving on from there, for the weaponry, the Monte Carlo, especially if you have its brand new Catalyst, is phenomenal within this build, getting your melee back so often and giving you a benefit for using your melee as well. And it's an auto rifle to take down those barrier champions, combined with your shackle grenades to take down the unstops. You got most of them covered. After that, you want a really good shotgun. Now, I'm using the Kilos here with Pugilist to give me melee energy back, plus Trench Barrel. The shotgun is going to be doing the damage in this situation. However, you could also be using something like this Wastelander here with 1-2 punch if you want to even further rely on those melee attacks to do the actual damage, but either is good. And then a fantastic sword. Now, I do have the Thin Precipice right here because it is a strand sword, so it gets those unraveling rounds and works with my build, but feel free to switch this off and put on something incredible like the Crown Splitter here. You know, I have one with Whirlwind, a plus Relentless. Just take off that one fragment. Then after that, guys, in terms of your exotic armor, it's the Syntheseps like these, giving you a damage boost to melee and super damage when you're surrounded, which is like all the time within this activity, is exactly what you want. Now, some important armor mods that you want to consider using here. Number 1, Melee Kickstart, okay? This is going to let you get those Frenzied Blade melees back after using each one, and if you're using something like Heavy Handed to get your orbs from just getting those melee kills in the first place, it's kind of a self-fulfilling cycle right there. After that, guys, Hands On. What a fantastic armor mod for this build. You're getting a ton of melee kills, now you're getting a ton of super energy, and your super, especially when a Banner of War is active, is cracked beyond belief. Now, another good tip here is some scavengers. You are using your special and your heavy a lot, and so ammo is going to be an issue, so make sure you have that covered. Moving on from there, guys, the next most effective build for farming Legend difficulty haunted sectors, I would say, is going to be the Hunter, specifically the Arcstrider Hunter, utilizing Gathering Storm, just such a phenomenal super, combined with Gambler's Dodge. Then we have Combination Blow and Pulse Grenades. Now, our aspects are going to be Flow State, and then, really importantly, Lethal Current. So you dodge and your melees are going to jolt. Then after that, the fragments are going to be Spark of Resistance, Spark of Ions, Spark of Recharge, and Spark of Feedback. Now, as for the weapons, we are absolutely going to use that 1-2 punch Wastelander. Now, the Wastelander is just a great option here because it's craftable, and importantly, you can also put on Lead from Gold. Like I said previously, ammo is a concern, so Lead from Gold is really going to help you always keep this topped up. But really, any 1-2 punch shotgun would be great here. Now, for a primary, you can use something like the Sweet Sorrow, a fantastic arc auto rifle with one of the better PvE origin traits teammates in the game, frankly, and this is going to deal with those barrier champions. Obviously, guys, you may have to switch up some of the weapons I'm showcasing based on the type of champions you are facing. And then for a heavy, if you're running this, you gotta run the Legend of Acreus. This shotgun hits like an absolute truck. It's like a rocket launcher shot to the face, especially if you do have its exotic catalyst that's actually going to increase its ammo reserves and give it trench barrel. Guys, the sheer amount of damage you can put out by running up to an enemy, getting that melee, and then just unloading with the Legend of Acreus, you can drop those stupid pumpkin-headed dorks in no time. Now, after that, in terms of the exotic, well, I usually, with this build, use the Assassin's Cowl. It gives you invisibility, a huge amount of healing. It is just incredible. However, for this, we have to be using our Masquerader's Cowl in order to get the actual loot from this event. So we are going to be using, as kind of the best alternative to that, the Liar's Handshake. So this is going to let you follow up a successful melee attack with a powerful, like, kind of secondary melee attack. So combined with 1-2 punch, you can really do some phenomenal damage here. And that secondary melee attack is going to give you some healing as well, which is exactly what we want. Now, again, in terms of specific armor mods you really want to be using, if you can, obviously, hands-on is yet again fantastic. We also have impact induction. Causing damage with your melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. And that's another great one to use on the previous build we looked at for the Titan as well. And another heavy-handed here, of course. Now, because we're not using a melee kickstart, because our dodge like instantly gives us back a melee, and then the melee kills instantly give us back our dodge. So again, we don't need a kickstart. We're free to run some arc weapon surges to boost the incredible damage of that Legend of Acreus even further, guys. Now, lastly for this build, you should really be running a Reaper because you're going to be dodging so much. This is going to give you just a ton of orb generation, and special finisher isn't a bad idea either. Now, guys, moving on from there for the Warlock, well, admittedly, originally I tried to make the Controverse hold work, and it was fine, but you actually just aren't able to chain that many kills if you have teammates that also kind of know what they're doing. They're just killing everything around the area, and so you throw your grenade at the headless one and you only do damage to it and you can't really get things chaining. So what I actually found to be the most effective for farming this was running Dawnblade, obviously Well of Radiance, Healing Rift, Celestial Fire, Healing Grenade for even more survivability. Then we have Touch of Flame, as well as Icarus Dash for our aspects. After that, we have Ember of Mercy. Then we've got Ember of Torches. We've got Ember of Solace. And then lastly, we do have Ember of Tempering if you're using solar weapons. If not, you can switch it to something else. Now, after that, for those weapons specifically, we're actually going to be using the Bad Juju, kind of out of left field here, but it is going to provide you with a crazy amount of super energy. So at the very beginning, you just get a few Bad Juju kills on some war beasts or whatever, just to get your super for the first time, and then things are going to start to get rolling. If you have a huge amount of intellect or a great weapon with Thresh, you don't need to use the Bad Juju. Now, after that, as for a great solar weapon, the Cartesian Coordinate here, lead from gold like we talked about earlier, Vorpal weapon, this can put out a ton of damage on a headless one or just eviscerate ads to get some of those solar synergies going. After that, guys, the Bequest, just as a fantastic sword, but technically a solar sword would be better in this position. If you have a good one, put it on. Hey, but the Bequest is cracked as well. Like, you can't really go wrong here. Now, after that, guys, the main exotic is going to be that Phoenix Protocol. It is going to give you your well back for getting kills in your well. So you are literally going from zone to zone to zone. It's really easy to go see a zone just spawning. You put your well on it, and like as you can see in the background gameplay, you're slaying out while standing on your well. By the time the headless one spawns, you can deal with them completely in the safety of your well. You kill them, and your teammates are probably helping you as well, also in the well. And by the time you're done with that one headless one, you are well over half of your super completely charged, and basically it means that every other zone, you can be popping your well. Like, you just get so many wells in an activity. Not only is that great for you, not only does it let you solo one side of the arena where your teammates might be on the other side, but it's fantastic for the final boss as well. You know, well is incredible. We all know it, and this lets you pop a ton of them. Now, as for some armor mods you really want to use, well, Font of Wisdom, if you are lacking on the intellect department, is going to help. Again, it's all about getting your well back as quickly as possible. After that, guys, Elemental Charge is a great one if you're spawning those fire sprites, right? This is a great way to get armor charge. Then after that, another Reaper, because we're spawning a ton of healing rifts, you know, all the time with this build, and a powerful attraction. You want to be using your healing rift, and then often you're hurt and you want to be staying in that healing rift, so powerful attraction, just collecting the orbs around you and sucking them in, can be very, very good. And so, guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.